You just won. The lights flashed, the coins rang out, the little song played, and every part of the machine in front of you told you so. You did not. You put in $3 and it gave you back 40 cents. You lost $2.60, and somewhere in your brain a small light switched on that says, winner. That is not a glitch. That is not the machine being generous on a bad spin. That is the single most important product a casino sells, and it has a name. They call it a loss disguised as a win, and a modern slot machine can do it to you 600 times an hour. Here is the thing almost everyone gets wrong about casinos. You think you are there to gamble, and that the danger is the odds. The real danger is that the entire building, every light and sound and free drink inside it, is one machine built to do a single thing: keep you sitting in that chair. Because the house does not actually need luck to beat you, it needs your time. And over the last 50 years, it has gotten frighteningly good at taking it. If you have ever sat at a machine for what felt like 20 minutes and looked up to find 2 hours gone, that was not you losing track. You were steered. If you have ever put a single dollar across 4 lines at once and felt a little lift when the screen lit up, even though the number that came back was smaller than the dollar you started with, that lift was not an accident. It was built, tested, and sold to you. And here is the strangest part: you cannot feel it happening. There is no moment where you catch the switch being flipped. That is the whole design. To see how, you first have to understand how little the odds actually matter. Last year, Americans lost around $79 billion to legal casinos. Not wagered, lost. And almost every dollar of it was taken a few cents at a time, because when you look closely, the odds are almost insultingly small. Take roulette, the most iconic game on the floor. On an American wheel, there are 38 pockets. You put $5 on red, win, and you get $5. Lose, and it is gone. It feels like a coin flip. It is not, and the reason is 2 little green pockets, the 0 and the double 0, that are neither red nor black. Those 2 pockets are the entire business. They mean a bet that pays like a coin flip actually wins a little less than half the time. Do the math on that $5 bet, and on average, every single spin, you lose about 26 cents, not $5, 26 cents. That is the house edge, 5.26%, and it is one of the fattest edges on the main floor. Sit with that for a second. The worst odds in the building, and they still only skim a quarter off your $5. Blackjack played perfectly hands the house about half of 1%. Craps on the basic bet, 1.5. These are rounding errors. So here is the question that unlocks the whole casino. If the house only takes 26 cents on your $5 spin, how does it build a 40-story tower with a fountain out front? The answer is not the size of the edge. It is the number of times it gets to collect it. There is a rule in mathematics called the law of large numbers, and it is the closest thing a casino has to a religion. It says the more times you repeat a bet, the more certainly the average wins. Any one spin is a coin flip with a whisper on the scale, but over 1,000 rolls of the dice, a craps player is expected to be down about 14 bets, almost no matter who they are. One lucky player for 1 hour does nothing to the house, because tonight there are 10,000 of you, and the machine only cares about the average, which means the casino has exactly one enemy. Not the lucky player, not the card counter. You, standing up and walking out while you are still ahead. Everything else in that building, everything, exists to make sure you do not. So how do you keep a person in a chair losing money for hours? You start with the machine that makes the casino most of its money, the slot. Slots are not a sideshow. Across America, they out-earn every table game combined, nearly 4-to-1. A single slot machine quietly wins its casino around $226 a day, every day, while keeping only about 7 cents of every dollar that flows through it. 7 cents. It is the law of large numbers wearing flashing lights. But the genius of the slot machine is not the math. It is the psychology, and it starts with that fake win from a moment ago. When you play several lines at once and win back less than you bet, the machine does not quietly log the loss. It celebrates. Lights, music, coins, the whole show, for a spin where you lost money. In the lab, when researchers wire players up and measure their bodies, these fake wins produce the same jolt as real ones. And given the choice, players will pick the machine that fakes more of them. even when that machine takes more of their money. You are not being fooled by accident. You are being fed a feeling into your body. That feeling is indistinguishable from the real thing. Then there is the near miss. Two jackpot symbols line up and the third lands just above the line or just below it. So close. You feel it in your chest. And here is what almost no one knows. That near miss is manufactured. In 1984, an engineer named Inge Telnaes patented an idea that quietly changed gambling forever. The reels you see spinning are a lie told by software. Behind them, a computer maps a small number of real stops onto a much longer list of virtual ones, and it can weight that list however it likes. So it programs the jackpot symbol to land just above or below the pay line far more often than it lands on it, roughly 5 times as often. In 1989, Nevada regulators actually ruled on this. They banned casinos from stacking near misses on the pay line itself, and then, in the same breath, expressly allowed them just above and below, which is exactly where the machines put them to this day. And when scientists slid gamblers into a brain scanner and fed them near misses, those losses lit up the same reward circuits, your brain's own applause meter, as a real win. The machine had found a way to pay you in dopamine for losing. There is a name for the trick underneath all of this, and it goes back to a psychologist named B.F. Skinner. Skinner found that if you reward an animal on a random, unpredictable schedule, you produce the most obsessive, hardest-to-stop behavior he could create. He said he could turn a pigeon into a pathological gambler. A slot machine is that experiment running on you with a marketing budget. The industry even has a term for what it is really selling. Not entertainment, not a shot at the jackpot, time on device. The anthropologist Natasha Dow-Schul spent 15 years studying this, and she found that the most serious players are not even chasing a jackpot anymore. They are chasing a state she calls the machine zone, where the money and the clock and the self all dissolve, and there is nothing left but the next spin. For those players, hitting the jackpot would almost ruin it. It would make them stop. These are the people who feed a whole paycheck through a machine a few dollars at a time and only surface when it goes quiet, because there is nothing left to put in. That is not the machine breaking down. That is the machine doing exactly what it was built to do. Now step back from the machine and look at the room, because the building is in on it too. You have probably heard some of this. There are no clocks on a casino floor and no windows, so you lose track of time. The carpets are loud, the ceilings are low, and the layout is a soft maze that never quite lets you walk in a straight line to the door. None of that is an accident. A man named Bill Friedman, a former gambling addict who became a casino operator, studied around 80 casinos and wrote a 600-page book on it. The exact placement of every wall and light to keep you inside and playing. But because you have heard that part, let me clear away the most famous casino myth of all, because it tells you something. People love to say casinos pump extra oxygen onto the floor to keep you awake in gambling. They do not. It is physically absurd. You would need tens of thousands of cubic meters of pure oxygen a day. And back in the smoking era, you would have turned the entire floor into a bomb, because oxygen is the thing that makes fire spread. The myth does not come from a casino at all. It comes from a novel published in 1978. And yet almost everyone believes it, which is the real lesson here. We are so certain the casino is manipulating us through the air that we miss how it actually does it, through the money itself. Watch what happens to a dollar when you walk in. First, it becomes chips, which do not feel like money. On the slots, it does not even become chips. It becomes a number on a screen, a paper ticket, a card you tap. Every step is designed to peel the realness away from your cash, so that betting it does not hurt the way handing over 40 actual dollars at a store hurts. You never feel the exact moment your money stops feeling like money. That is the point. Then they put the ATM right there on the floor, so when the unreal money runs out, more is only a few steps away. And when researchers went looking for what actually reduces the damage inside a casino, one of the single most effective things they found was simply removing those floor ATMs. The friction was the protection. The casino had engineered the friction out. And the newest machines go one step further. They watch how you play in real time, and some are built to sense the exact moment you are about to quit, and fire off a bonus right then to pull you back for one more. Which brings us to the part that should genuinely unsettle you. That loyalty card they give you, the one you slide into the machine or hand to the dealer for points and free buffets, is not a rewards program. It is a meter. From the moment you insert it, the casino is calculating a single number about you. They call it your theoretical loss. They take your average bet, multiply it by how many bets you make an hour, multiply that by how long you sit, and multiply that by the edge of the game you are playing. Out comes the amount of money the casino mathematically expects to take from you. Not what you actually lost tonight, because you might have gotten lucky. What you are worth to them on average forever. You will never be shown this number. It is calculated about you, not for you. And it quietly decides how the entire building treats you. And every free thing they hand you is priced off that number. The comp room, the show tickets, the steak. Standard practice is to give back somewhere around a quarter to a third of your theoretical loss in freebies. The comp was never a gift. It is a calculated reinvestment in a productive asset, and the asset is you. It is also why they care so much which game you sit at. The very same building can charge wildly different rates. Baccarat runs a house age of about 1%. Keno, over in the corner, runs closer to 27. That is one company pricing one game more than 20 times steeper than another, and gently steering different people toward each. Put it in dollars and it gets stark. A serious player betting $500 a hand at Baccarat for 12 hours is worth a bit over $4,000 to the house. Walk that exact same person over to the 00 roulette wheel, and because the edge is higher, he is suddenly worth around $19,000. Same man, same money, same night. 4 times the value, purely from which game they can nudge him into. You are not a guest on that floor. You are a line on a spreadsheet, priced, tracked, and managed to the cent. There is one last myth to kill, and it is the one the movies sell hardest, the whale. The high roller in the private salon betting a fortune a hand, the player the whole casino supposedly lives and dies for. Here is the reality. On the Las Vegas Strip, one game played mostly by the very rich high-end Baccarat brought in about $1.5 billion in a single year. Enormous. But the margins on whales are thin, because casinos compete so viciously to host them that a VIP table moving millions of dollars a day might clear the house only around 10%. Meanwhile, the ordinary person at the $25 table clears closer to 40. The whale is the glamour. Grandma is the profit. In fact, casinos are so hungry for whales that they sometimes hand the math away. In 2011, a man named Don Johnson sat down in Atlantic City and, over about 6 months, won roughly $15 million from 3 different casinos. No card counting. No cheating. He simply negotiated. Desperate to book a high roller, the casinos offered him a deal where they refunded 20% of his losses, and that one quiet term tipped the odds in his favor. He just played correct blackjack and let the math they had handed him do the rest. The house does not always win. It only wins on average across the millions of ordinary people who never negotiate anything at all, and that is the whole thing. You walk in believing you are matched against the odds, and that if you are only smart enough or lucky enough, you can beat them. But the odds were never the point. The edge on any single bet is a few cents. The machine you are actually standing inside is far larger and far quieter than that. It is built to make a loss feel like a win, to turn your money into something that does not hurt to lose, and above all, to keep you in that chair for one more spin and one more, until the law of large numbers has done its slow, patient work. You do not lose because the cards were cruel. You lose because you stayed. So the next time someone swears they have figured out how to beat the casino, you can tell them the truth. The game was never really on the table. So be honest with yourself for a second. The last time you sat down at a machine or you told yourself you would spend $20 and call it a night, how long did you plan to stay? And how long did you actually stay? Tell me in the comments, because that gap between the plan and the number is the whole business.